Did you know that there is a place in New Zealand where steam literally rises from the ground? So, in public parks, in on the roads, and even in people's homes. Yes, this is Rotorua. When you travel through New Zealand, you expect beautiful landscapes, of course, rolling green hills, lakes that look almost unreal, and mountains around every corner. But nothing quite prepares you for what you see in Rotorua. And believe me, I had watched so many YouTube videos before I actually went there. I knew that it is a geothermal wonderland and I thought I knew what to expect, but oh my god, I was so surprised. The minute we stepped off the bus, we were dropped off at Fenton Street near the Eyesight Visitor Center, Visitor Information Center. And the minute we were, dropped off there, you could actually feel that the vibe was so different from Tauranga or Auckland. Since we had some more time before our full day guided tour actually started at Wakareva Reva, we decided to grab some quick breakfast at Mr. Wolf's Eatery. So it was very convenient. The food was really good. I was very surprised to see the good vegan and the vegetarian options for me, and the coffee was amazing. It was nice and sunny. It was a sunshiny day, so that was nice because the past 2 days in Tauranga we had experienced rains. When we were planning our New Zealand itinerary, visiting Rotorua was obviously on the list, and because of its geothermal landscapes, of course. But the more I read about it, the more I understood and learned that Rotorua isn't just known for bubbling mud pools and geysers. It's actually one of the cultural heartlands of the Maori people, with many iwi continuing to live, work, and preserve their cultures and traditions. So it made us think that we want to experience this place a little differently. And while we were researching ways to explore Rotorua, there were many options. There were some that were mud spas, some were offering geothermal walks around a forest, and some were claiming exclusive access to the Pohutu geyser. And I'm sure each one of them had their unique points to offer. But the reason we went with Wakareva Reva, the living Maori village, was that this is an actual living village that has been home to the local Maori iwi for generations. Families still live here today, and they welcome visitors, and they continue their traditions that have existed alongside this geothermal landscape for well over a century. They are the ones who are guiding tourists into their village. So we booked a full day tour directly with the Wakareva Reva website. It was a guided tour. It included the guided village tour, a Maori cultural performance, and access to the self-guided geothermal trails. When we reached the entrance, we collected our passes at the reception. While we were waiting for our tour to begin, I found myself reading through some of the history displayed on the walls, which gave a little context before stepping into the village itself. Soon enough, our guide had arrived, and there were about 8 of us in the group, which made the experience feel very personal. One of the things that I appreciated most was that our guide's family and ancestors had lived in this village for generations. Every story she shared came from lived experience. Then we reached the steam boxes. These are natural geothermal cooking boxes that use the earth's heat to cook food. Instead of gas or electricity, meals are prepared using the steam rising naturally from the underground. Our guide explained to us that different geothermal pools are used for different purposes depending on their mineral composition. And some of them are used for cooking meat, some others are used for vegetables. Usually they're not mixed. She asked us to check out a pool we would eventually find on our geothermal walk, which they sometimes use to prepare wild boar because the water is so hot that it removes the hair and the skin from the meat within a few minutes, and that makes it easy for them to cook it. We continued to walk. We reached one of the geothermal pools called Parekohuru. I was amazed at the color of the water in that spring, all thanks to the minerals that exist in it.
This is around 210, 212 Fahrenheit. She has her own primary resource. She feeds herself. It's a 4 to 6 hour cycle she will bring through fresh water.
One of my absolute favorite memories though is, it's now a core memory. It came a little later when we reached the pool, and we were each handed a cob of corn that had been steaming and cooking in that pool, and I still remember the taste. I don't think I have ever tasted anything quite like that. I don't think I'd ever thought about geothermal activity in such an everyday way before. To me, it had always been something dramatic and spectacular, but here it was simply a part of daily life. We also saw the Pohutu geyser, the largest active geyser in the southern hemisphere, erupting dramatically into the air. Not far from it stood the Vare, the Maori meeting house. Our guide explained its importance within the community, not simply as a building, but as a place where people gather, they make memories, make decisions, celebrate, grieve, and strengthen the community ties. After this, we attended a Maori cultural performance. It was my first time watching the haka being performed, and the artists also kept telling us the significance of the verses that they were singing and the meaning behind those songs. After that, we set off on the geothermal walking trail. This was included in our day tour. The trail follows a series of wooden broadwalks winding through steaming geothermal landscapes. There were moments when you could actually hear the water boiling beneath the ground. This was the most intimidating part of the tour for me. I was so scared at this point, and at several points there was nobody else around us, just steam and the sound of the earth. Those were the moments where I suddenly became very aware of how small we are as humans. Nature feels very alive here and incredibly powerful. As the geothermal landscape slowly gave way to the forest, we found ourselves surrounded by manuka trees. These trees are, where the flowers are used to produce the nectar, which makes the manuka honey, which is famous in New Zealand. The walk itself took us around 2 hours because we kept stopping to take everything in. Before leaving, we wandered through the small gift shops run by the members of the village community in the village. I picked up a few things along with a few gifts for family to take home, and of course the raw manuka honey that tastes like no other honey I have had before. Looking back, I think what stayed with me wasn't just the geothermal landscape, but I think it was the way this community has built its life around it. One thing that our guide shared with us, and that has really stayed with me, is that she said, we do not disturb the earth or the natural landscape. We let nature take its course, and then we adapt our lives to it rather than the other way around. Because we know that when we take something from nature, we will have to replenish it in some way or the other. And that felt like such a respectful relationship with the earth, and I think that's what made Waka Reva Reva very, very special for me.